Big J?
Yes.
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton, how are you this morning, my man?
All right.
We just got off the phone with former President Bill Clinton. He's
really?
Obviously a fan of his wife, and you, I've heard, are a fan of Barack Obama.
I am, yeah. Bill hasn't switched sides yet. I'm surprised.
He had nothing bad to say about Barack, but I think for his home life, he's going with the wife on this one.
Yeah. He's got a lot of chips to pay, I think.
Exactly. So obviously people know you from movies. I mean, they know you from Fight Club, American History X, the new Incredible Hulk movie that comes out next month. What makes you go from, being the guy that's in the movies to the guy that wants to talk about politics?
Well, I guess primarily what I've been interested in is talking to younger people on, college radio, college campuses, top 40 stations, things like that, rock stations, just because I think that something really unusual is happening here in this primary, and it's an opportunity for people our age and younger to have their to play a role in this that we usually get we usually get kind of marginalized in these elections, and I think that it feels like a historic opportunity to me, and I think primarily what I've been doing is just talking to young people about why it's worth engaging in a moment like this. Not really so much saying to people, vote for this person because I am. I'm not a big believer in that, but I think that I think sometimes if the fact that someone might tune in or come out because you're there and see that you're interested in the issues, not that your opinion's more important than anyone's, but just that you're interested too, and that people they admire or respect for other reasons are engaging in this stuff. If that helps sort of get people tuned into it, then I think that's a good thing.
I agree 100%. So it's not so much for you about, I like Barack Obama, you need to vote for him. It's more kind of my attitude, which is just no matter who you vote for, at least get involved and, be informed.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about, first of all, I have a lot of respect for Senator Clinton's my senator in New York. She's been an outstanding senator for New York. I think John McCain has just an undisputable track record of public service. I think that all of these candidates this year, in my mind, are a significant step up from where we've been for a while here. And that's positive. And I think obviously we need to get rid of this. Get out of this conversation that the country's been sort of mired in for the last 16 years, where the parties and the kind of the parties in some ways almost slandering each other has become the whole relationship people have with government. Like I think it would be, to me, if I feel something particular in Barack Obama, something particularly encouraging and inspiring, it's that I feel like he's a real change, a move away from that conversation. And I think Senator Clinton and McCain have been both a little bit a part of that partisan conversation, and it worries me that we'll return to that again. But I think that Obama is, in my adult life, it's the first time I've really heard someone that I feel like has the potential to talk in a way that knits the country up behind some common purpose,
Yeah, he talks a mad game, that's for sure. Everything he says, really makes you feel passionate about what he's saying and believe that he really is going to do something about it.
But I do. I mean, I spent a lot of time in my growing up out over between Livingston, Montana, and Bozeman there.
Really?
And I with family out there, and
very cool.
I spent like all my young years hiking in the Absaroka Beartooths down south of Livingston.
That's awesome.
And Paradise Valley. I love all that area. But I really do agree with him that a lot of the lines that have been drawn by the parties in the country are phony. I don't think there are. I mean, you guys have Brian Schweitzer as your governor now. I mean, here's a perfect example to me of sort of a guy who breaks down traditional boxes of Republican, Democrat. It's like there's a lot of common ground in most places and people that I meet, and I don't feel like you've gotten in our. I'm 38. I feel like 16 of the last 20 years, the country's been largely kind of in this same conversation in which these huge fissures between Republicans and Democrats have been emphasized, and I think it's tiresome. You want to have that feeling that people had when my dad was in college, when Kennedy was, calling on a whole new generation to get engaged in the nation's challenges, or what my grandparents talked about when FDR was helping the country get through the Depression. It feels like we've got a lot of perilous things going on right now with the environment and the war in Iraq, and it's time for somebody to start knitting everybody together, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. We're talking to Edward Norton here on the Big J Show. I got to ask, why do you think it is that, Barack has a lot of A-list celebrities in his court? I mean, we talked to Cal Penn, last week. Oprah's on his side. He's got a lot of these A-list, celeb-type people. But Bill Clinton was talking about how Hillary Clinton has, a vast majority of the former generals and the military chiefs, all those people on her side. But not a lot of celebrities. What do you think the difference is there? Why celebrities are backing Barack, but yet Hillary's getting more backing from military people?
I don't know if I totally agree with that. There's, in fact, I think a lot of the key retired military brass that's come out, in opposition to the administration's policy in Iraq is. I'm not sure I totally agree with that assessment that none of the military guys are backing Barack.
Yeah, I don't think none are. I just know that that's one of the big selling points for the Clinton people. Is they're saying that she's got 58 or something of these past generals that are backing her.
Like I said, I think he's done a phenomenal job at rising above a lot of the low blows that they've been chucking around. I do respect him, but I think it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate some of the shots they've been taking at him. It lowers the quality of the conversation, and I think, for all intents and purposes, I do personally think that this is over. I think it's done. It's not that. I think that Montana, you guys in South Dakota vote on Tuesday, and I think it's an amazing opportunity to. I think Montana and South Dakota actually are going to have the opportunity to sort of solidify what I think is already, kind of a done deal. But I think that I have a lot of faith that I think Democrats will come together behind him. I think that there's always a lot of squabbling, but then I think people will pull together, and I think a lot of independents ultimately are gonna. I think there's a lot of exhaustion with the particular direction that this administration's been taking the country, and a feeling that we don't want to just kind of keep on this. I think I read a statistic that 84% of the country feels that we're moving in the wrong direction or on the wrong track generally, and that's an extraordinary statistic. That's I don't think there's been numbers like that since the Great Depression, and I think that people. I think that's what we were talking about. I think that people feel like it's time to re-energize the national conversation and do a little more nation building here at home. And I think I think a lot of people are going to swing. A lot of us who don't fit into traditional boxes. I mean, my family. My family's a lot. We have a lot of my family in the military, and I don't think we fit into I don't think any of us fit into sort of a traditional liberal or conservative box. I think we're a good reflection of kind of what I would call that American middle ground, and I think my uncle's a retired Navy sub captain, and I think he's very, very much in favor of kind of a change in direction.
So that's to summarize it. Kind of you really believe that we need change, which a lot of people do. That statistic backs it up, and you think that you know a lot about the campaign, obviously, since you're speaking out about it, and you think Barack is that change.
I do, yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't. I think these conversations are interesting to have, not because any well-known person should be saying vote the way I'm voting. It's not about that. I just think I think it's primarily it's important for people of every walk of life, every stripe, radio host, actor, coal miner, cattle rancher, to sort of chew these things over together and listen to each other and take it all in and then make up your own mind. Everybody needs to make up their own mind, but I do think it's like really important not to sit it out. I mean, what was it? Can you think of it? I don't know how long you've lived in Montana, but I mean, think of the last time like the Montana primary was being paid attention to.
I can't remember.
I mean, it's a really interesting opportunity. It's a really interesting opportunity, and I think Montana's such an interesting state historically. I mean, that's the state that produced Mike Mansfield. You know what I mean? I mean, one of the great senators ever, and
the first woman senator, I believe, was from here as well.
And now you got Brian Schweitzer, who's really like kind of a real maverick governor, and I think Montana's like, Montana's one of those places that I actually think is kind of one of the real bellwethers of what, because you've got you can't really, I don't think you can really put a pin in Montana and call it a red state or a blue state. You know what I mean? It's always sort of gone its own way, and I think I'm so interested to see how people respond up there. It'll be really interesting. Yeah. Do you have a sense? I mean, do you have a sense of like the pulse up there, just in terms of the Democratic primary? Do you think it's? Do you hear people talking about it?
Yeah, I hear people talking about it quite a bit, and I actually talked about it on the show. It seems that Barack has been crushing her, but I mean, that's just, and I think it's mostly because he's done so much with getting the word out. I mean, there's people in the community like, setting up events all the time for Barack and going door to door, and he was running radio ads, every hour on every station in town and TV ads, and he was doing that for weeks with nothing from Hillary. So, I mean, it's like that's all you were seeing for a while, so people are like, yeah, this guy seems pretty cool, and then he came to town and it's sold out and you couldn't get in. It was a good speech, and then it's like this week Hillary came to town, but it's like, to me, I think they might have gone a little too late trying to combat the whole Barack firestorm that they had here. So I mean, to me it seems like I'm kind of in the same boat, that it seems like a clean cut thing at this point. But
well, it's no matter what, I think. And you guys have a situation, I think, where you can vote. People can vote early. Yeah, you can vote early right up to Tuesday, right?
Yeah, you definitely can. I do the mail-in ballot thing and vote early as well. So I've taken care of it. But
that's great.
I want to say, Edward Norton, it's cool to me that you're getting involved in this. I think it's something that matters, and I think it's cool that you can use your celebrity status, if you like to call it that. The fact that a lot of people know who you are, you can use that for something good to try to get people excited about this.
And like I said, to me, it's like I really look at these things as like the great equalizers. Like we're all on the same boat on this. We've all got sort of no matter what, like there's going to be a change here, and it's worth. I don't know. That's what sort of most of the time. People in Americans tend to be very focused on their rights, which is a good thing, but there is the other side of that coin is responsibilities of democratic society, and I think, it sounds sort of highfalutin, but it's actually kind of amazing when you think about it, when you realize, like we were saying, it's like, me and, an outfitting store owner and a policeman in Billings, whatever, everybody's got the same sort of thing to do, which is pony up and tick their little box, and whatever all our flaws, it's still a pretty amazing experiment that we have going in this country, and like to keep it alive, keep it functioning. I think people have to take that seriously. I
agree 100%. Putting politics aside for just a second, the new Incredible Hulk movie, is it going to be as amazing as it looks?
I sure hope so. I have not even seen it myself because we've worked on it.
I was going to say, yeah, you wrote the screenplay and starred it. Yeah. You've seen a little bit of it.
But the thing that's so wild on this one is that we were racing for this date so hard that the special effects have been literally being delivered even in the last few weeks, the final stuff. So, so I might be sitting at the premiere, like crossing my fingers as much as anybody else, and waiting to see how does the skin look, how do the muscles look, how it's a very unusual experience for me. I usually get to see the finished thing long before the release, and in this case, I literally might be seeing it with everybody else.
That might be a fun experience for you. I also read you passed on the first Hulk movie, but then you decided to do this one. What's the deal with that? Was that true?
Well, yeah, we got, the partly. Sometimes you hear those stories. I literally, in some cases, you're busy. You're just busy with something else. People come at you with something. I also, I think I felt that this time there was, I connected with this director, Louis Leterrier. He's French. We talked a lot about what to us was kind of the classic story of the Hulk that we felt hadn't really been done. That feeling of like the fugitive, the haunted fugitive, the sort of the guy who's persecuted and oppressed and but kind of a moral guy trying to protect people from this thing inside him, but he has this, if you push him too hard, he's got this nasty bite back, you know what I mean? And I think we just felt like, there's if something survives as a story as long as that does, there must be something in it that people are kind of connecting with, and we wanted to try to pull it back to that kind of core story that we thought people was kind of at the heart of people's love affair. I mean, it's crazy. I was in Morocco one time, and I had this cab driver who was like Senegalese. He was from Senegal, and he looked at me in the rearview mirror and kind of went, "Oh," he goes, "Hey man, hey, I know you from the movie, And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "What are you doing?" I said, I said, "Do you know the Incredible Hulk?" He goes, "Oh yeah, man, we love the Hulk in Senegal, And I was like, God, people really, this is like all over the world. Like if you put a picture of that green guy up just about anywhere on the planet, people know what it is. So yeah, there has to be something in that,
I think there is. I think it looks like a killer movie as well. Lou Ferrigno, the original Hulk's in the movie as well, isn't he?
I'm not going to ruin any secrets, but he might make a little pass through.
He might do a little something. Excellent. Well, Edward Norton, thanks so much for being on the show this morning. It was awesome that you're taking your time to put your voice behind something cool.
Thanks for the time, man.
I really respect it. Edward Norton. Right. I'll see you the movie. Good luck.
Be good. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.